Sheyenne on here. When I asked her to come on, she was like, yes, of course, I will pour into your team. And honestly, like I wanted to have her on for attraction marketing, and we might cover that tonight because I feel like she is so incredible at that. But then I got a hold of a YouTube video she did just yesterday, and it struck so many emotions with so many of us. She just got back from going to the Rise event, Rachel Hollis's event, and it was just life-changing for her. So I wanted her to talk a little bit about that, introduce herself to you, kind of give you guys a little bit of her background story, and just talk about how we can overcome objections in this business. Sometimes we start and we have our first no, or we have our first customers saying they don't want to order, or we have our first DT quit on us, and we just think it's, our yellow hearts, if you're yellow like me, like we just take it so to heart. And we want to just pour into you guys tonight and know like you can do this, and you guys have the empowerment right inside of you to conquer all your dreams. So we're so excited. Without further ado, Sheyenne, go ahead, kick us off. Let us know. I know you got started when you were just in high school, and I just love that. So we'll start there.
Hey guys, I'm Sheyenne Knox. I'm 21 years old and I'm a presidential diamond. I joined this business 3 years ago this coming December. I was 18. I was a high school student, and I saw Courtney Bohr, my ambassador, upline posting, standing next to a brand new car. She had bought that car when she was like 20 years old, and I read the caption, messaged her, went in the kitchen, asked my dad for $99 and jumped in. I just joined for a couple $100, just the same. How many of y'all joined for just a couple $100? Drop a one. Like, that's all we want, because we don't have a vision for anything more than that. We don't imagine making $20,000 a month or reaching ambassador or doing these great big things, because at that point in time, we just want money and we don't care how much it is, right? So got started, and within 5 months, I was making an extra $2,000 a month, 3 days after I graduated high school. I went on to college. I paid all my tuition in cash, and I moved in. Life happened, went through that big change of moving into school. It's really hard on you to deal with all of that transition. Like, I went through a lot within my family and like relationships and all kinds of stuff. And so I put my business on the back burner. And for 7 months, I lost rank from diamond to executive. And that is where I truly learned the most about my business. I learned the most about my leadership, about why I was even in this company, about what this business was going to do for me, about how to become a better person, a better leader. And it changed everything for me. And so for 7 months, I was barely keeping my head above water. And I finally realized that I wanted more. I wanted to make this work. I wanted to be successful so badly. I wanted success more than I was willing to sleep, than I was willing to eat, than I was willing to do whatever it took. And so went to conference. How many of y'all are going to conference? Drop a 2. Who am I going to get to meet? If you're not dropping into 2, I'm going to tell you why you need to go. I put my account $80 in the negative to get my butt to conference because I was broken, I was lost, I was confused, and I just wanted direction. I went to conference. Broker than a joke. You cannot afford to not go to conference. I went, open heart, open mind, had my chart out. I maintained diamond for the first time, and I didn't even know it. There was so much momentum. I had so much fire. I got diamond back that February. The very next month, I took my team to double diamond with 3 people working on my team. I enrolled 80 customers that month of over 60 BV. I took my team to triple. 3 months after that, earned the $15,000 bonus. And 3 months after that, I went presidential diamond. So within 8 months, I took my paycheck from $458 to $26,000, all within 8 months. And now, that was a year ago. I am so presidential. I have been presidential way too long, and I'm so ready to be the youngest ambassador tribe in the whole entire company. And that's my story.
I just love that so much. So when you joined in high school, like what was the reaction from your parents? What was the reaction from your friends? Like, did you get people like doubting you? Did you get people saying like you're too young for this? Like, how did you overcome like those fears and those rejections of, starting out young and kind of being vulnerable?
So How many of y'all have had people talk bad about you or try to lessen your ambition with this or question why you're doing this or question why you joined a scam? How many of y'all have that happened to? I'm curious. I got ridiculed so much for being in this business, probably 10 times more than you, because I don't know if y'all remember what high school was like, but it was an immaturity fest. Everyone was rude. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone was negative. Everybody criticized you for being different. And when I joined this business, it was like, oh, all eyes on this girl. She's doing something different. Got told this wouldn't work, got told this was a scam, got told I was stupid, I would never be successful, it wouldn't last. I heard it all, and you want to know what it did? Yeah, it crushed me. I'm human. It sucked. I cried, but it fired me up like nobody's business. If I would not have had that, I genuinely don't think I would have had as quick success, because I literally sat there and I was like, watch me. I will do whatever it takes to be successful, especially now that you told me I couldn't. And like every single promotion, it's like I was never doing it for them. I was always doing it for myself and for my team. But having that not supportive, like no one was supportive except for my dad. My mom thought I was a nutcase. My family was like, what are you even doing? Like, do you actually think this is going to be like your career? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Thank you. Like, I didn't care, and I still don't care. And I love being able to be confident and strong and powerful in what I do and teach women every single day that you can too do the same thing. And I think that, you know, with this momentum and this rise of network marketing, like we literally get to change the grain. Like we get to change people's opinion of this business. Like we get to change that this can be a career and this can change your entire family's, you know, your family legacy. I don't have a single person in my family that's ever been to college. I was the first person that had ever gone to college, and I had this pressure of being the first person to graduate. And that was the only reason I was in school. I swear to you. I was going to school to be a nurse because I knew that that was the only job that I could make $20 an hour that I would enjoy. So I went to college for that, and I made a 52 in anatomy. And I was like, this is not it. This isn't it. I changed my major to marketing, and I was like, why am I even here? I can't do anything with a marketing degree. Like, I'm going to do this full time. I quit college. I went triple the next month and presidential 3 months later. And it was like a sign from God that like, this is where I was meant to be. Like, this was my calling. This was my career. And I wasn't going to let anyone tell me that I couldn't do it. And so if you are on here and you do get so many people making fun of you and telling you that you can't, that's even more the reason that you should. And they don't pay your bills. And they like, from the Rachel Hollis conference, I'm not on my computer, but I have a video that I can share with Courtney, and she can share it in y'all's team page. But Rachel ended the conference with, you know, I was expecting her to come out and like drop fire and like cry and like say like it was such an incredible weekend. And she literally came out still teaching us about the 3 things that are going to hold you back. And she was like, you know, you're going to leave this weekend with all this information. I mean, how many of y'all got off a Zoom and you're like, holy crap, like I've got it. I've got all the stuff I need. I've learned all the tips. I have everything I need. And then you get off the Zoom and bam, something happens and you just like sit back right where you were before you even got on the Zoom. Things are going to happen to you and reality is going to hit. And the 3 top things that are going to happen when you feel like you're ready to go, you've got your promotion aligned, you've got your charts out. Like it's, you know, I still feel like it's the beginning of the month, but it's already the 12th. Like I don't know where time goes, but you're ready for it. And then comparison comes in. How many of you compare yourself to people? You compare yourself and you think that this journey is, you know, Becky is promoting way quicker than you and she must be better and you must be a one-hit wonder and you may not be pretty enough or you don't have this or you don't have that quality or this is that. Comparison is the thief of joy, you guys, and comparison is going to be the thing that keeps you from what you want and keeps you from your goals and keeps you from everywhere that you want to be because you're comparing yourself to someone else. It's so cheesy, but God made you 100% you for a reason because there are people out there. They could be watching me and Amanda. Me and Amanda could have a mutual friend and she may want to join this business and she may follow Amanda and be like, you know, I think she's like the cutest thing ever. She's the sweetest little voice. She's a precious human, but I just don't think that I don't think I could do that. And then she may see me and be like, oh my gosh, I'm young too. I'm going to join her. Like you don't know, but people need different qualities from different people. That's why people join different people's teams, right? That's why you felt called to join your leader. I followed 2 people when it came to It Works. And I never felt called to join the first person I saw. Never. I never, ever questioned me joining. Like, I thought what she did was amazing, but I never thought about joining her. I see one post from Courtney, and I joined her the same day. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't compare your journey to someone else's, because you're going to attract the people that God was meant to place into your life. And I hope that was something that somebody needs to hear, because you have qualities that other people don't, and you will match up with the right people that are meant to be on your team. And you will influence and change lives from people that Amanda could never touch, that Courtney could never touch, but my story does, because there's value in that. Like, I have been opening up so much recently about my story because there's power in that. And I'm going to go off of this. I'm a talker, so forgive me, but I'm going to go off in 17 different branches. So you should probably take notes, because I may get lost. But the number one thing I took from this week was that your mess is your message. And I will say this over, I've said it about 17 times on my story in the past couple of days, but your mess is your message. My mom was a major alcoholic. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but she chose alcohol over me in any situation that she could. I was raised with 4 siblings. $20 was a whole lot of money. I missed out on so many different things and told my friends that I couldn't do it, or I didn't have time, or had to do this, but it's because we couldn't afford it. I got the eviction letters and the pink slips in the mail, and I watched my family go without, and I watched myself go without. And I joined this business already thinking that I didn't have it in me, that I couldn't be the person that could be successful because I came from this. And successful people don't come from that. Successful people, already have successful people in their life, or they have these certain qualities, or they have these certain things about who they are that makes them lucky. I am not lucky. I did not reach presidential on luck. I reached presidential because I came from that, and I built this because I came from that, and I'm not willing to be that person. I'm not willing to let that define who I am. And literally, guys, within the past 2 days, I shared it on my story last night, and I shared it on my story today, and I have literally had 100 people swipe up on my story and say, thank you for sharing your story, because now I can share mine. People will join me because I'm open about my story. Do not compare yourself to me, to Amanda, to Courtney, to Dina, to Nola, to Valerie. Do not compare who you are to someone else, because then you will be comparing yourself and posting like this blogger that you think is cute and trying to change who you are, and then you get success from it, and it's not gonna fulfill you because it's unauthentic. Say you see a post of mine and you start trying to post like me and edit your pictures like me and write your captions like me, and it may work. And then you go diamond and you get these people on your team and they're not even like you because you weren't being yourself. It doesn't feel good. It will feel so much better when you do something based on who you are and how you feel, and you're going to attract people just like you. Number 2 is other people's opinions. Other people's opinions will cause you to fail every single time, because you sit there and allow other people's judgment to control your ambition. You should never lower your ambition for someone. You should only raise your discipline. If someone were to tell you, and Rachel called her, she was like, you let all these people hold you back from where you're going. She's like, you let Marissa from freshman year keep you from running a business and building your dream home and taking your family to Disney and paying your bills? Marissa from freshman year. Who of y'all have a Marissa? Not necessarily Marissa, insert name here, of the mean girl from high school. I know you all have it. I have one too. I'm imagining her in my head right now, that every time I post, I'm like, oh God, what if she sees my post? She's totally going to roll her eyes at me. She's totally going to make fun of me. Or you have those people in your family that every time you're at their house for a holiday event, they're like, oh yeah, you still doing It Works? It's still working for you? And you just want to punch them in the throat and like karate chop them? Yeah, we all have those people. They don't own you. They don't get to tell you that you can't be successful. They don't get to control your life. It was Marissa, actually. I'm dead. Yeah, Marissa doesn't own you. She doesn't pay your bills. Please send her your electric bill that you can't afford and say, hey, can you pay this with your opinion? You can't. So I only hope that spoke to somebody that's really struggling with comparison and letting people's opinions affect you. And the third thing is failure. So many of you hold back from going to the next level because you're afraid to fail. Who is afraid to fail? Drop a 3. I'm dropping a 3. Ambassador scares the mess out of me. And I'm afraid to go after it month after month because I don't want to come up short, because failure sucks. If you can imagine, let me be transparent. A whole group of my friends went ambassador at the beginning of this year, and I got left behind. And it sucked. And it's hard. And I shouted it out there, and I had my whole team convinced we were going ambassador. I mean, heck, I convinced myself. Like, I was ready. It was all out there, and I missed it. And I didn't promote. And all my other friends, I had to sit there and watch them all shout it out. And I was so freaking happy for them because I can only imagine what it felt like. But I got left behind and I had failed. And I felt like I had failed my team. And I had failed myself. And I had failed everyone on my social media that I had told I was going ambassador. And I had so many people messaging me like the next morning. And they were like, oh my God, did you do it? And I was like, no, I failed. But because I failed, and because I was willing to put it out there, and I was willing to say I'm doing the dang thing, and I was willing to show my team that I can fail, and I'm still here fighting for it, and it's November. You're going to fail, and you have to be okay with putting yourself out there to fail, because if you never do, you will never get to where you want to go. Because it's in my failure that I've learned the most about myself. I've learned the most about my leadership. I've learned the most about how to run a successful team. Because if I never show my team that it's okay to fail, they will never step out of their comfort zone. How many of you joined this business and you didn't promote for like 6 or 7 months and you felt like a failure and then you promoted? How many of you promoted and lost your rank and then got it back? How many of you promoted, lost your rank for so long, and then you skyrocketed like me? I felt like a failure, and then I rose above it because I said, I am going to get over myself, and I failed once and I'm going to get back up. You have to get back up. You have to say that failure is okay, and you have to get used to failing and make sure that when you're in this valley right now, maybe you're in a valley, maybe you lost rank, maybe people on your team quit, maybe you've seen a huge paycheck drop. I don't know what it is. There's people that relate to you, I promise. But I'm going to tell you one thing. When you're in the valley, what comes right before a mountain? A freaking valley. So if you're looking up and you see this promotion, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's diamond, and you see this diamond promotion at the top of this mountain. Right before you go up to the top of a mountain, right before you get on a roller coaster, where are you? You're at the freaking bottom. You're at the bottom. And so many of you are in the cart of your roller coaster, and you're so ready to go, and you're at the bottom, and you're struggling, and you're in a valley, but you're in the cart. What happens when they click go? You go up. What happens in a slingshot? You get pulled back and pulled back and pulled back, and someone quits and you get pulled back farther, and your volume goes down farther and you're getting pulled back. But what happens when you let go? You get shot farther than you thought you were going to go, right? Sometimes we have this vision in our head of where we're supposed to be, of where we're supposed to go, and when we're supposed to do it. How many of you have shouted out a promotion that was like 6 months ago, and you're still not at that promotion you shouted out 6 months ago? That's me. And I shouted it out, and I shouted it out because I had this idea in my head of when I was supposed to do it. But I'm not ready to be ambassador. That's why I'm not. I still am being prepared. I'm still being taught. I'm still being grown and stretched in ways that I don't even realize I can be stretched, because something's funny about where we're going is we've never been there. I've never been ambassador. I don't know what it takes to be ambassador, but all I know is that I can show up as my authentic self every day, and I can give all the glory to God, and I can pray to Him and ask Him to show me the way and to continue to show up for my people, even when I don't know how. And when I'm failing, that instead of me saying I failed, I say, yes, I failed, but I can get back up. And I can go to the next level, and I can show my people where I want to go and where we're going as a team. And I can cast the vision, because at the end of the day, failure is what makes us grow. And failure is how you get down and get stronger, because it's harder to pick yourself up every single time. So those 3 things that will hold you back, you have to know that they're going to be what's going to hold you back. If you are ignorant and act like nothing's going to happen and expect to look at the top of the mountain and say, I want that, but I don't want to lose people. And I don't want my volume to go down. And I don't want to ever see a paycheck decrease. And I don't want to ever have an issue with my mindset. That's not realistic. That's like you expecting nothing to happen in your life. That's not positive. It's wrong. You know in your life, if I asked you right now if you expect the next 6 months to just be perfect, you'd be like, that's not possible, because it's not. And we expect that in our business. We expect the next 4 years, whatever, the next year to be perfect, and it's not. But every bit of this business is worth it. Everything that I've gone through, every person that's left, every time I've lost rank, every time I've seen a paycheck decrease, every time something's happened, every time my mindset's not been right, that's why I'm here. And that's why I can sit on this Zoom and I can tell you that it does get better, and that the highs are so much better than the lows. And the times that I see myself promote and my team promote and me being able to, guys, I just traveled for a week and screwed up my flight situation so bad I paid an extra $1,000 to fix it. And I literally got to travel across the country. I went to Boston and was able to be present there, and I was home for 6 hours. And then I flew out again and was in Charleston for 5 days. And I didn't once have to ever think about, I literally cried on the plane ride home because I was like, I did not have to take off work. I didn't have to get a pay cut. I didn't have to ask my boss if I could go. I went because I can, because this business literally has changed my entire life, because even in the worst parts of my business, I still fought. I still showed up. Guys, when I was maintaining executive, I was still enrolling 20 customers a month. And my paycheck was going down because I wasn't duplicating that. There were so many things, and so many people would be like, you were enrolling 20 customers a month and your paycheck went down. Why didn't you quit? Because the devil wanted me to. Because he told me that I wasn't good enough. Because he told me that I wasn't, good enough to be a double diamond. I wasn't worthy. I didn't have it in me. And I said, yes, I do. And you know why? Because I've done it before. And because I did not join this business to get this far. I joined because it's not about me. It's about my people, and it's about the people I'm influencing. Guys, you have no idea how many people are watching your post right now, and you don't even know they're there. I had a girl on my team. She's a double. The best human I've ever met. I don't know what I would do without her. How many of you have those people that you've met from this business? You genuinely don't know how you lived your life before you met this human. You're like, you complete me. You're like that. There's so many people on my team like that. She followed me for 8 months. She followed me and found me and thought my clothes were cute and watched me, and, was a restaurant manager working 50 to 60 hours a week. She made really good money, but she had zero freedom. And she watched me and she followed everything that I did. And I had no idea, because she never liked a picture. And then she blocked me because she said my life bothered her so much that I could live the same life and make the same amount of money she was making. And she was working 60 hours a week, literally slaving away. And she blocked me. And then she said she unblocked me because she thought about joining my team, and she followed me for a while. And then she messaged me and joined. 8 months. And she's a double diamond on my team, and literally she will be ambassador. And I don't even know who she was. So you can't fail for the things that aren't there. You can't fail and be like, you know what, I'm just not going to do this because my team currently isn't the right team for me. Thank God. Thank God people quit your team. Thank God it's not working out for you right now. Because the people that are coming are going to come into your business and you're going to be like, holy crap, I never imagined this. Guys, when I was maintaining executive with guys, if you go back on my YouTube channel to October of 2017, there were 2 people on my team Zoom. 2. And I quit doing them. You don't see them anymore after that, because 2 people were showing up for me. And I was like, you know what? If they're not going to show up for me, I'm not going to do these anymore. And I stopped showing up for them. And I was making $100 a month. Then I maintained diamond, and I started doing those team Zooms again. And within 8 months, I was a presidential diamond. Do you think that in the bottom of my business, when I was seeing $100, that if you would have told me 8 months later, I would be seeing $26,000 deposited into my bank account, do you think I would have believed you? Absolutely not. Because at that point in my business, I had listened to the voice in my head that told me I wasn't good enough and told me that I'd never be successful at this. Guys, I've been in my pajamas all day. I look a hot mess, and I make $20,000 a month from right here because I never gave up, and I never let that voice in my head tell me I couldn't do it, and I never tried to be anybody else, and I never stopped sharing myself authentically. Guys, I had a leader Zoom last night that I sweat through my shirt because I was so fired up about where this company is going, where my team is going, where I am going. And I got off the Zoom and I did another Zoom, and it's on YouTube, and I did it with Morgan Martin. And I got on there and I was like, you know what? I don't even know what's going to come out of my mouth. I'm sweating now. I don't know what it is about Zooms, and I start talking and I get all heated and I get all sweaty because I'm just so excited. And it's like, I don't have to be anybody else. This idea, we all depict this idea in a visual picture of what successful people are supposed to look like. And that picture that you paint should be a picture of you, not of somebody else, not of this perfect businesswoman that has their life together and has 5 children and looks like a fairy godmother and, just juggles it all and has no issues and nothing ever happens in her life. It's not real. This person that you imagine in your head should be you. Because if Amanda can do it and Courtney can do it and I can do it and Jade Hooper can do it, you can too. And the thing that I took away from the first conference that I went to was that every single person on that stage was different. Every person on that stage told a story that they came from a mess. They came from a mess, just like you and just like me. I came from divorced parents, an alcoholic mother, and a situation that typically people would let them define them and say, oh, I can't do that because I came from this. I said, no. I can do what I want. I can be who I want. And so this whole weekend, I went, I literally left my house October 30th and didn't get home until November 10th. I was gone for a hot minute, and I went straight to Boston and heard all of the new things that our company's coming out with, and they dropped the new product, and they dropped pop-up shops. How many of y'all have set those up? If you haven't, get out of your comfort zone and go get it done. And then they announced all this stuff, and there's so many things, and I had so many good, valuable conversations with people and our corporate staff, and I was so pumped. And then I flew straight to Rise, and I literally hear 10 motivational speakers that read literally the personal development books I read. The people who wrote them were standing in front of me. Literally, I felt like I got by the end of the day, I felt like I had gotten a fight, that they had punched me a bunch of times, but they never touched me. Have you ever been on a Zoom like that where you feel like you got slapped 10 times, but they didn't even have to touch you? That's how I felt by the end of the day. They said so many different things, one thing after another. And I was like, okay, I get it. I take it. I feel it. I got it. And guys, every one of them told a story of coming from something bad. And maybe you didn't, you don't have a background story, or you don't have baggage, or you don't have things that maybe hold you back. But for those of you that do, they all came from that. And I want to tell y'all this story because it's super inspirational and it's stuck in my head word for word. But Rachel started out the conference and she was like, how many of y'all have heard me within the past 2 years? So how many of y'all have read Girl Wash Your Face and you heard of Rachel Hollis? Drop a 2. You've heard of Rachel Hollis. You've read her books. She's inspired you. You've watched videos of hers, listened to her podcast. Okay, so many of you. And I'm pretty sure that most of you have heard of her within the last 2 years. It would shock you for me to tell you that she's been doing this for 16 years. And you're just now hearing from her. 16 years ago, she started a blog. And someone messaged her. She posted a picture of her food at a restaurant. And an egg company messaged her about promoting their eggs on her Instagram. And she posted about it and she became a food blogger and then got success from that and started, becoming a motivational speaker and making these videos and talking to people and inspiring people. And then she started writing books. She's wrote 6 books. The first 5 books sold 10 copies apiece, and they were all pretty much from her family. The 6th book was Girl Wash Your Face. And it is now the number 2 best-selling book in the entire world. 6 books, 5 books you never heard of that saw 10 people to buy them, 16 years of a career, and in the past 2 years you just now heard of her, and she wrote her 6th book that is now the number 2 best-selling book in the world. If that does not tell you to be consistent, I don't know what to tell you. Some of you are expecting overnight success and you're getting so mad because you've been here for 5 months and you're not making $2,000, or you're not a millionaire, or you're not Black Diamond. I've been doing this for 3 years. And I'm not at the top of the company, and some people went to the top of the company in 18 months. If it takes you 20 years to be making $30,000 a month, would it be worth it? So why are you getting mad that you've been in the business for 2 years and you're not an ambassador yet? Guys, you've got to be faithful. Faithful in the times that suck. Faithful in the times you're questioning it. Faithful in the times that it doesn't make sense, so that God can be fruitful to you. God cannot bless your steps if you're not even taking the steps to begin with. If you are not willing to put one foot in front of the other, being willing to not compare yourself and not care about what other people think of you and care about failing, if you're not willing to take the step, he cannot bless your steps. And for all the times that Rachel went through struggle and couldn't afford to write another book because the book before that didn't make any money like she thought. And when she struggled to be a blogger and ended up having to become a food blogger because that's the only thing that she could do with what her circumstances were. And she had to start out somewhere with her speeches. Do you think that she just started out with 1 million views? No. Her first conference was in a hotel, just like our Triads are in. And she had 60 people. And at the event that I was at, there were 6,800 people, and it sold out in like 2 seconds. And now she just went global. Like, I just want you to understand the impact of being consistent and the impact of understanding you have to be patient and you have to be faithful, faithful, faithful in order for God to be fruitful, fruitful, fruitful for you. And you have to start taking the steps, and you have to get in the car. So many of you don't even get in the freaking car. Like, this business is your vehicle to change the world. And if you don't believe in that, you're going to have to change your perspective. And I'm going to tell you another story. I told y'all it's going to be all over the place. I don't even know what the question was. I'm just going. So, Steve Jobs, okay? You all know him. When he first thought of the idea of Apple, he called this guy named Scully, who was the CEO of Pepsi. He was the CEO and president of Pepsi before Apple was created, okay? He called Scully and he said, hey, I've got this business opportunity for you. Like, I've got the best thing that's ever happened. Like, we're about to change the world. We're about to be billionaires. Like, this is it, man. Like, this is it. I need you to do this with me. And he was like, look, I'm the CEO and president of Pepsi. I don't know what business opportunity you've got, but like, that's great. Like, go do your thing, bud. Probably didn't talk to him like that, but in my head, this is where we're going to talk to him. Go do your thing, bud. And he kept calling him, guys, and he kept calling him, and he kept calling him, and he kept calling him, and he kept ignoring him. And he called him on his phone in the car. There used to be like phones in cars. I don't know those days. Maybe you've heard of them, but there used to be phones in cars. And apparently you could leave voicemails on them. And he called him, and he called him one last time, and he said, look, I have the best business opportunity you've ever seen. And I have something that you will never be able to find. And I believe in this so much, and we're going to be billionaires, but I will never call you again. He was like, if you call me back, you can do this with me, but this is the last time I contact you. He was like, bro, you sell sugar water. And I'm about to bring you an opportunity that will be blow that out of the water. And so his wife was listening to this voicemail that Steve Jobs left his husband and was like, you really do sell sugar water. Like, you should probably hear this guy out because he sounds pretty passionate. He was like, you're right. So Scully called Steve Jobs back and he said, I'll do it. He gave up being the CEO of Pepsi to join some guy, some friend that had this business opportunity that he believed in so much, and he believed in him because how passionate he was about it. And you know, this company now today is Apple. Because he believed in his message, guys. You have to believe in what you have so much that you would walk up to Kim Kardashian tomorrow and tell her to join your team. If you don't have that conviction to share what you've got from this business, then you're not in the right business. You have to believe in this business with every ounce of your soul, that you can talk to anybody about this and feel confident as hell that you have something that will change their entire life. I don't know if you just joined this business and you're like, who the heck is this girl yelling at me right now? you're in the best opportunity that you will ever be able to find. There is no, and I know you're probably like, well, you're biased. No, I'm not. There is no other network marketing company that has culture like we do. There is no other network marketing company that you will find a CEO that prays over you every day. You will never find another company that has people that are in your circle. Guys, I don't know what I would do without the friendships that I've made because of this business. Like if something happens in my life, the first people I call are the people that are in this business. I could probably depend on Amanda Boucher more than I could depend on somebody who's been in my life my whole life. Because the people you meet in this business are people that you don't find anywhere else. You don't find people that encourage you to level up. You don't find people that bring you closer to God. You don't find that anywhere else. And so I only hope that you find the same conviction that Steve Jobs found about his business when no one else believed in him, when people question his ambition and question what the heck he was talking about. I feel that conviction. Y'all, I came home from Rise and I blitzed 4 people and one person in the plane was drinking Dunkin' Donuts and I was like, girl, what are you doing? Dunkin'? And I told her about keto coffee and she bought all 3 flavors on the plane. Because I literally just said, hey, like, do you drink this all the time? And she was like, yeah, like I drink coffee every morning. And I'm like, wouldn't you want to like have coffee that like makes you lose weight and keeps you filled up and gives you mental clarity? Like, have you ever heard of keto coffee? And she was like, yeah, like I've seen this girl posting about it all the time on social media. Like, what is it? Told her about it and she bought it. Because I sat there and I could not let her drink Dunkin' Donuts in front of me. I was like, you don't even know. Like, you don't even know. You're missing out. And there's so many people that were at this conference that I'm sitting there listening to them say like, yeah, like, and I mean, to each their own, like if this is what they want to do, it's what they want to do. But I was like, are you sure you want to sell bath bombs on Etsy? I've got something so much better for you. I have so much more to offer you. That's what you should feel. You should feel like you can't contain yourself when you're around people because you just have to share the opportunity. Okay. I have another story for you. So for those of you right now that maybe feel like what you have isn't good enough and you feel like your team isn't good enough, Ed Milet, I'm sure y'all have heard of him, incredible and so incredible. Like I could have listened to him talk forever. He said, you know, when he was starting his career, he was so broke and he was trying to act, you know, like this big and successful person. Okay, so he finds this car on Craigslist and he buys this car and it's a Cadillac that has a Mercedes body Velcroed to the outside. Literally. That's how much he wanted to look like he was successful. So he buys a Cadillac with a Velcroed Mercedes-Benz body to it, all right? And so he tells us, you know, he was with his team. He had just started building his business. He had some people and they were following him and they were going back to their, you know, their storefront. And he gets pulled over. And all of his team is like pulled over behind him, like waiting for him to like get all his stuff handled. And the cop literally says like, this is a stolen car. He was like, no, like I can explain, like go pull off my door. It'll come off. Like there's a Cadillac under there. This car is not stolen. And so he was telling that story about, you know, his come up and everything. And so then he got married and he had his wife and he was out on a boat on the lake and there was a plot of land that he wanted so bad. And every time he was out on the lake, the guy that owned it was outside on his front porch and he would go, you know, drive past and be like, hey, Lana, like I really want to buy your land. And the guy was like, you know, it's not for sale. Well, after a bunch of times of doing that, the guy finally waves him down and was like, hey, like I'm going through a divorce. Like I need to sell this land. Like, do you want to buy it? And he was like, oh crap. Like I never thought about him actually saying yes. Like I don't have the money for this. And so Ed Milet sold everything he had. He gave the man his boat. He gave him his house. He gave him everything and got a loan small enough from the bank that he could get for this land. Well, he gets a contractor out there because he wants to build a house out there. And the contractor comes and he was like, there's a reason nobody bought this land. Like this is all rock. Like we can't build anything on this. You just bought a piece of land that has nothing but rock. I can't do anything for you. And so he found this other contractor that was like, you know what, I'll do it. Like we have to dynamite it. We have to blow it all up. Like we've got to take all of this mess in order to create something from it. So these people blow it up. They dynamite it. He's like, he came out there one day and he looked at it and he was like, how is anything going to come out of this? Like, this is just a pile of mess. Then he showed a picture, guys, and it's the biggest freaking house I've ever seen. Like this house was massive. I'm like, this looks like a total like rap girl house where like all the people just like fill in. And if you look at the bottom, the whole house was made of rock. And they took that mess, they took the mess that they told him would never work and told him that it was too messy and there was too much crap, and they built his house from it. And he said, the bigger the mess, the bigger the foundation. The bigger amount of crap that you have, whether it's baggage, whether it's a messy team, whether it's no team, whether you've got nothing, you can build a massive legacy and a massive business from nothing. And so he now has this house that's a freaking gazillion-dollar house, and it's built on the rock of his mess. And that story was so freaking significant to me. And so I don't know if maybe you've been struggling with that, or struggling with direction, or struggling with what you can make of what you have. And I promise you that with my 3 strong distributors that I had on that double chart that were working, I never thought that I could take that and build what I've built from that. And I had something else I was going to say and I just forgot it.
Hey Shay, I want to interrupt because I have so many thoughts going through my mind of, people are probably looking at you, and had you not told your story of your past, they would have been like, oh my gosh, like she's like this because she's had this perfect life. Like she's a knockout, blonde hair, she's never had anything happen to her. So how did you get to where you're at? And I want you to say, what I know you're going to say, but I feel like so many people that start the business don't believe in the power of personal development. They get to diamond and they still don't know the power of personal development. And then, business starts to crumble because you're not able to keep up with the demands of life and things that just naturally happen. Why we're here on earth, to experience these things and have our own personal journeys of, troubles and triumphs. And so I want that to be known. I want people to know how important that is, and how did you get from that executive to presidential? Like what shifted in you, and what first steps did you take to get there?
So how many of y'all, we're going to have honesty hour. Okay. How many books have you read this year? Drop it in the comments. Be 100% real. I mean, nobody's throwing shade. Okay. 0. Thank you for being honest. 1, 0, 1, 10. Woohoo. Go girl. 4 question mark, 0, 2. Okay. Guys, there is a certain point when it becomes BS. And what I mean by that is you have a cap, okay? And my cap was diamond. I joined this business with a fire. I never touched a personal development book, didn't even know that existed, didn't know that like growing your mind was a thing, okay? And for some of you on here that are like, what the heck is personal development? This thing controls everything you do. And I, sprinted to diamond, 5 months, killing it, $2,000, rolling in dough, 18, feeling on top of the world, no priorities, just making $2,000 just because. It was great, okay? Hit that cap, and I never got beyond that. I was sitting here trying to go double, trying to build a team of people and trying to get people to see the vision, and I was capped. If you are not pouring into your mind and growing yourself as a leader, it is selfish, because not only are you not going anywhere, your team is not going anywhere either. And when you aren't willing to pour into yourself and grow as a human and as a leader and as a person, you have nothing to give. I had nothing to give to my people. I was literally sitting there like, refresh on downline orders, refresh, nothing's popping up. Refresh, okay, maybe my volume's going up a little bit. Nope, it went down. Okay, refresh. And I was sitting there trying to figure out why my team was not doing anything. And I was like, hey, like, where are the orders at? And I wasn't doing anything either. And it's because I hit that cap and I wasn't growing and I wasn't reading and I wasn't pouring into myself. So there comes a wall where it's BS. I can't say anything else because everything I've already said it. I already said, like, be consistent, work your business, do your 6 list. Like, they've heard it all before. You have to pour into yourself every single day so that you can grow. And so what happened was, number 1, was I not just done, I was over it. I wasn't just done. I wasn't just like, oh my gosh, I'm so like, this is so stupid. Like, I'm so tired of being a diamond. I was like, no, I am over it. And I will do whatever it takes to get to the next level. How many of y'all are at that? Be honest. How many of y'all are just like, screw it, man. I will give my left arm to be successful in this business. Tell me what to do. That is the point that I was at. I was like, I will do anything. Somebody tell me what to do. So I messaged Jade and I said, hey, I want to be successful in this business so badly. Please tell me what to do. And she said, Sheyenne, get your double diamond chart out. And I was like, that's it? That's all you're going to tell me? Get my double diamond chart out? And then I realized I didn't even have a double diamond chart. And for 7 months, I was trying to go double and didn't even have a chart out. That's the point I was at, okay? No personal development, no chart, no direction, pissed off at my team because there were no orders coming in. Half of y'all are there, and I know it. You don't even have to tell me. I just know it because so many people on my team are too. Until last night I got real with them. I sweat through my shirt, okay? We all get to those points and we get stuck. We get crippled by the simplicity of this business. Am I right? It's so simple that it's hard. Like a 6 list. Okay. What do? I got the 6 list out. I know I'm supposed to post, message, follow up, interact. But how do I do it? Guys, you get your chart out. You read a dang book. You ask questions. You do your 6 list, right? We know how to work this business. Like, we know what to do, but we don't exactly know. Okay, we know what to do, but we don't know how to do it. So I got that double diamond chart out and I listened to a podcast for the first time in my life. And then I started watching YouTube videos and I would just I was so ignorant. I was like, motivation. And I would watch the first thing that came up and then I'd be like, okay, momentum. Watch the first thing that came up. Confidence. Watch the first thing that came up. And as I started doing this, I started believing in myself. And I woke up March 1st and was like, you know what? I've got my double chart out. I'm going to do it. I'm going to promote. Like, I'm just going to figure it out. I don't know. I've got 3 people working on my team. I don't even know who they are, but I'm just going to go. I got my own personal results. That picture of my face that looks like I cut my cheeks off with scissors. Yeah. That took me to double diamond. That picture. I would go to add people on Facebook to grow my network and I'd click on their profile and there's a hosted post of my face. Because I literally blew it up. I was like, hey, you want to buy my products? No? Okay, post this for me. Hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this business with me? No? Okay, then throw this up on your wall. Like, everyone was posting for me. I was sharing my personal results so loudly. I was willing to do whatever it took. I was doing my 6 list as many times as I could. I was listening to podcasts. I was watching videos. Like, guys, you know what to do. You just cripple yourself on the matter of how to actually do it. You don't need to know how. Because at the point that I had realized I am going double diamond because I decided March 1st at 8 a.m. to do it, I didn't need to know how. I needed to know why. And so I ran with it, guys. And ever since then, I've watched personal development. I've listened to podcasts while I'm driving. I watch videos. I never miss a Zoom. Never miss a Zoom. 90% of my success is from me filling up my cup in every way that I could, even if it was a new distributor training. Because there has never been a Zoom that I have not taken something from a Zoom, that I've not taken something from it to apply to my business. So please show up. Because you're not only showing up for you, you're showing up for your team and you're showing up for your leaders. And this will make sense as you become a leader and start having team Zooms and people don't show up. It sucks. It hurts. So you have to make sure that you're showing up for your people, you're showing up for your leaders, and you're showing up for yourself. And that's where that shift will come. That shift was not one thing for me. It was not me just saying like, oh, I've been lazy, like I'm going to start working. No, it was everything. It was me doing all of the things. And I don't know if y'all watched the Boston live stream, but my panel was over how to work the business. I worked my business on social. And Barb Hauser worked her business face-to-face, and Nina worked her business in like parties and events. Like, all of us worked our business in different ways, but we did them all. I blitzed my Uber driver while I was there. And so now I'm belly to belly because I'm willing to talk to people, and I signed up a customer on the plane. Like, I don't shut out any way to work this business, but I also will not sit there and say I'm not going to try it because I've got something that's working. Like, if you say host to post don't work, you're wrong. If you say this doesn't work, you're wrong. Like, you have to be willing to do whatever it takes. And that's the point you get to. So when people say like, what took you from executive to presidential? I stopped being lazy. I stopped being complacent. I stopped expecting people to do the work for me. If some of y'all are looking for a runner and you're not being a runner yourself. Some of y'all are saying, well, I'm going to post tomorrow and someone's going to join my business and just take me to presidential. No, because you know what they're going to do? They're going to enroll, and they're going to get in your team page, or they're going to get put in your chat, or they're going to be, talking to you, and you're going to not be excited. They're going to be like, whoa, what is this that I joined? Like, where's the momentum? Where's the fire? Where's the promotions? Where's the excitement? But you're just sitting there waiting for them to take off. You should be in front of them already. If you enroll a distributor, you should be running far in front of them, waiting for them to catch up to you. That's where you should be at. You should not be sitting back waiting for those runners to join. You have to be the runner yourself, guys. And so, like I said, for all of those of you that are like, how did you go from executive to presidential? I just did it. And I did it with all of the things that you already know what to do, especially if you've been showing up on these Zooms. Everyone says the same thing. Success leaves clues. Amanda going ambassador did the same thing that I did. I going presidential did the same thing that my upline did. We all do the same thing. If you can love people and you can lead well and you can love yourself and pour into this business like Steve Jobs believed in Apple, then I promise you that you will be successful.
I love that so stinking much. I just love you. Like, I just want to bottle you up and like adopt you as my little sister too. I don't even know what to say. You've said everything that we were gonna cover some of attraction marketing, and I think we'll save that for another day because I just love where this went, and I just want to have you leave like one parting thing for people that we've said everything tonight, but they're still feeling like scared to like take that next step, to get out of the rut that they're in, or to get out of their comfort zone, or to go from that executive to diamond, to get that mentality. And we've said, pour into self-development, pour into self-care, and you'll get there. What can you say to those people to just let them know that they can do this, coming from where you came? And I know like where I came, I know from where Amanda came, like we have not had trialless lives. Like we've all pushed through really hard things. We've all had things happen in this business too, where had it not been for the community, had it not been for self-development, like I don't know where I would be. Like it has honestly rebuilt me and rebuilt my mentality. So what do you say to those people that even after all of this are still kind of like, oh, I don't know?
So before I went to the conference, I would have a completely different answer. But because I went to Rise and I heard this said so many times that I literally, all of us sat there bawling, was when Rachel said that we don't get this life again. You don't get this back. You don't get time back. You don't get moments back. You don't get another do-over. You don't get another chance. Like this is all you have. This moment right here is exactly why this business was put into your life. Because you were not meant to live a mediocre life. You were not meant to live paycheck to paycheck, to struggle every single day, to watch your kids go without, to watch you say no to yourself every single day, for you to not feel good, for you to not feel confident, for you to not feel good in where you are. That's not why you're here. You're here with a God-given purpose to influence, inspire, change lives, feel good about yourself, be happy. And so if you're scared and you're afraid of what's in front of you and you're holding your own self back, why? You don't get this again. So do something. Take the next step. Put one foot in front of the other, even if you don't know how. Because being scared is not the issue. You're going to be scared. You're going to be afraid. You're going to not know what to do. You're going to have questions. You're going to question your worth. You're going to, wonder if this is the right thing. You're going to, be like, God, is this like what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, this is where I'm supposed to be at? Like, I don't know. I don't really know who I am right now. I don't know who I'm supposed to be. Be scared, but do it anyway. Because I can promise you right now that I could have sat there and said, maybe this is it. Maybe I'm supposed to just be, falling in the same cycle of what my family did, and thinking that working these, barely getting by jobs is okay, and thinking that, I'm just going to be an alcoholic like my mom, or I could have thought all of that. But I knew that God did this to me, and he put me through that to show me that I'm made for more. And I know that each one of you feel a personal conviction to change lives, because that's why you're here. And that's why God placed this on your timeline when he did. So be scared and do it anyway.
And no one gets to write your own story but you. Nothing from your past, nobody in your life gets to choose your story. Nothing that's happened to you gets to determine how your future gets to be. And I love the story you told about Rachel Hollis of 16 years and her sixth book, because all of that life experience is what was needed to make Girl Wash Your Face and Girl Stop Apologizing. She went through all that muck and all that rejection and all that life experience to be able to show us that we can be vulnerable, that we can get through hard things.
Yep.
Had she not had that road, that book, How the Zoom Went, because you get to write your own story. You get to write your own life for yourself, for your kids, for your posterity, but you gotta start. On those days that you don't feel motivated, tune into something, tune into somebody, and get motivated. Do your tasks that are so simple, but we complicate it up here. Get to your people that motivate you. Get to those uplines. Get to one of us if you don't feel like you have that upline. And let's rock out the rest of the year. Like Sheyenne literally went from executive to presidential in 8 months, guys. That is insane, incredible. And it didn't happen because she just sat on her bed one day and decided, I'm going to do this. It happened because she started being a student of learning, a student of leadership. She started pouring into herself more so she could pour into other people. And that really is the secret sauce. And I love, like, we can hear that every single day, but until we start doing that in our own lives, like, our own life is going to change. So Sheyenne, I'm going to have you leave one more just little nugget, because I know you've just been so inspired. And it was no coincidence that Chelsea from my team posted your YouTube today, because I just needed to hear that too. I'm going to give you one more thing to support into us, whatever you want, and then we are going to end this thing, guys, and get to work for the rest of the month.
So since we're, talking about Rise, I'm going to leave y'all with one last thing about what Rachel was talking about. And she said, so many of you are going to hear, how many of y'all, literally, she named it, we all have a voice in our head, okay? We're, especially us as women, right? We all have a voice in our head that says, you know what, Sheyenne, you're just not capable. Like, this is just too hard. Or you look in the mirror and you're like, Sheyenne, like, you've put on a lot of weight. You're not cute anymore, right? I know that you feel that. You feel all these things that you hear and all these things that you feel like you're telling yourself. And we sit here and tell ourselves these things every single day. And she told us, guys, put a name to that person. Put a name to that person that sat here and told you that you can't do this. And put a name to that person that said that you're not able to do these great big things and you're not able to be successful. And she told us to name it and imagine what they look like. Because, guys, if somebody came up to you, Marissa, if Marissa came up to you in the grocery store and was like, dude, you've gained weight. Like, you're not cute. You aren't going to be successful. Like, you're a mess. Like, you're just not good enough. You would karate kick her in the throat on aisle 4 in the grocery store. So why do you allow her to just sit in the back of your head and tell you all these things? You are cute. You are good enough. You are able. Stop letting Pam, that's what Rachel called her. I was like, do you know Pam Souter? I don't think you'd name your girl after Pam, okay? That's the first thing I thought of. I was like, Pam is not the name, but we're going to go with Marissa. You're going to let Marissa own you? You're going to let Marissa tell you that you can't be presidential? Bye, Marissa. And it was so significant to me because she was like, you can too. You can. So stop letting Marissa control you and tell you that you can't, and tell you that your pants fit last month and maybe they don't now, and tell you that you're not cute like that person that's successful, or your story is just too slow and everyone else does it faster than you, and that you're too far from your promotion. I was 26,000 away from triple diamond and presidential diamond. It was literally the same amount of volume. I think it was God, because that was what I needed to see on the first day of October last year, when I was like, you know what? Let's do it. If you do the natural, doing your 6 list, showing up for your team, showing up for your business, God can do the supernatural. I literally felt, I was like, you know what? I think 26,000 is too far. The voice in the back of my head was saying that I couldn't do it. I got charted for triple diamond on July 19th. And then I got charted for presidential October 16th. Got charted for my promotions way into the end of the month. And then on the 25th of the month, when I was going triple, I was 7,500 away. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. That's too far. And I sat back and I was like, no, I did not come this far to get this far. Like, I'm freaking doing it. And I did it because I did the natural and allowed God to do the supernatural and stopped letting this voice in the back of my head tell me what I was going to do, because I'm very red and nobody tells me what to do. Okay. I don't know what your color personality is, but ain't nobody telling me that I can't do what I want to do. So get out your charts, guys. Start pouring into yourself. Stop letting Marissa tell you what to do and go do the thing.
Oh my gosh, I love you so much. Okay, so I have a question from my sis Jennifer. So I want to ask it if you can do it quickly, because I know like we've already used an hour of your time, but I know it will benefit a lot of people. She wants to know how you do your layered leadership. Do you have a quick answer to that? How you build that on your team?
So when people ask me this, I'm always like, oh, like I should have like this well thought out question or well thought out answer. But literally the only answer that I've ever come up with is that if you do the things, your team will do the things. Layered leadership is all about the leader of the pack. And if the way that guys, okay, real talk here. I want you to comment in the comments the 2 people you look up to most in this business. Who are the 2 most influential people that you've ever met in this business, and comment them below. Imagine if for the next 24 hours, they got a camera and they were watching you work your business. What would they say about you working your business? Yikes. Some of y'all are like, I would be so humiliated. But then your upline set you up on a coaching call at the end of the day and they were like, hey, like, what do you want to go for this month? And you're like, oh, I'm pushing so hard for Diamond. And they were like, really? Because you didn't post and you didn't do anything. Guys, that's what your team is doing too. If you're not getting anywhere and you're not producing layered leadership, it's because you aren't doing the things to be layered. If you want your team to be a bunch of you, what are you replicating? Because maybe right now you don't want a bunch of people of you on your team, because that would not be good. I have produced so many leaders on my team, and Amanda's produced so many leaders on her team because she does the things, and her team is like, hey, she posts every day. I'm going to do that. Hey, she shares her life on her story. I'm going to do that. Hey, she enrolls because she messages this many people a day. I'm going to do that. Hey, she's going to Costa Rica. She's doing big things. I'm going to go to Costa Rica next year. Hey, she went ambassador, so that means I can go ambassador. You see what I mean? When you do the things and you lead from the front, your team will know that that is the higher level that they're expected to reach. I never, ever skip out on a team Zoom. For over a year, since I started consistently working my business, like 2 years now, I have never skipped a team Zoom. I have showed up for my team every Sunday and every Monday for my leader Zooms, and I have never missed one, except for when I was in Boston, okay? I've never missed them. And so now my team does Zooms for their team, and I can only hope that because I've showed up for them in every way that I possibly can, they will too. So if you want to produce a massive, great team, and this is another tip, how many of you feel like you have a team that you're pulling to get to work, and you're tugging them and you're pulling them and you're like, they're just so good. Like, they're just so good. I believe in them so much. Like, I keep messaging this girl to get on every Zoom and she doesn't, but she's just so good. Then good luck having a good business. Your team may be good and that makes a good business, but don't you want a whole nother level? Don't you want a whole nother level team that makes you have a whole nother level business? Be the person you want. So if you want a runner, be the runner. If you want to be Ambassador Diamond, be the ambassador, because your people will follow you. Go have a whole nother level business based on being a whole nother level leader.
Boom. I love that. We are going to end on that. I just love you to pieces. I cannot wait to wrap my arms around your neck in VIP, guys. I hope everyone is joining us in VIP at conference. You guys can do this. We have 3 months left. You guys can make this happen. We are so excited for you. Thank you, Sheyenne, so, so much, sweetie. We just love you to death, honestly. Like, that was golden. That was so perfect.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good night.